And after months of heated discussions, Cathedral City is taking steps to phase out short-term vacation rentals in some residential neighborhoods. So how will this affect neighborhoods and tax benefits to the city? I spoke today with Mayor John Aguilar. John, it's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
You bet, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Peter.
The city is moving forward with plans to phase out short-term vacation rentals, specifically in residential neighborhoods. Why is the city making this change?
Well, let me clarify. First of all, yes, you're correct. We're phasing short-term vacation rentals out in R1 and R2 neighborhoods, but not phasing them out in HOA neighborhoods, those that have their own CC&Rs and those that have their own restrictions, and also not for those who want to do home share. So it's not a blanket phase out, but it's more of a modified transition from those units that are currently in R1 and R2 neighborhoods.
Okay, and why is this change happening?
Well, what we discovered was about a year and a half ago is that the number of complaints from neighbors in our various neighborhoods throughout the city really took a huge jump, from noise complaint calls to disorderly folks who had rented short-term vacation rentals, to including some of this physical altercations that was really affecting the quality of life for our long-term permanent residences. So the council decided at that time to take a serious look at how we would regulate them, put together a task force. Task force met for almost a year, came back to council with some recommendations, including the recommendation that we just acted on, which is to bring back an ordinance at the end of August to phase them out.
Any idea on the number of complaints that these rentals have received, and was it just a handful of properties or was it all across the board?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have the exact number, and I could probably get that for you, but the overwhelming number, the ratio relative to the number of complaints for single family homes in R1 neighborhoods and R2 neighborhoods was substantially and significantly greater than those that were in HO gated communities. So I can tell you that. And I did look at some numbers last week when we were talking about this, and it seemed like the ratio was like 4-to-1 complaints in single family neighborhoods versus those in HOA gated communities.
What do you say to critics who point out the tax benefits that these rentals bring to the city, and also the fact that many of these property owners have spruced up homes in blighted neighborhoods?
So we heard that a lot, actually, and we respect the fact that folks have purchased homes and have rented them out over a period of time. But honestly, I think for the city council, it really came down to a quality of life issue and not really an economic issue. I mean, we have roughly 400 STVR, short-term vacation rentals. You know, roughly 125 or 175 of those are in HOA neighborhoods. So we're still going to see income coming from those in the future. We will be losing some income from those that will be phasing out in the residential neighborhoods. But as those properties turn over, as individual families come in and buy some of those homes, not all of them will be for sale, but folks will come in and buy those homes. They'll be adding to the tax base. They'll be buying local supplies and purchasing products here in Cathedral City, and that will help replace some of that lost income.
So are you concerned then, I guess not, if a lot of these property owners end up selling?
Well, I don't want to see, of course I'm concerned. I mean, one of my statements at the city council meeting was that this is a particularly difficult time for this to happen. It's right in the middle of this pandemic. But it was really a function of, after hearing hours and hours of testimony, hours and hours of negotiations at the task force level, it really seemed like it was the right thing to do at this time. And there will be a provision in the ordinance when it comes back to council for individuals who have a particularly unique set of circumstances surrounding their property regarding recovery of their investment, where they may be able to request a hardship, in which case the transition period may be extended. We're still working out those details.
Switching gears, let's talk about coronavirus. Your city saw a major increase in cases in the month of July. Do you believe that these rentals may have played a part in this, or do you attribute this increase to something else?
That's a really difficult question. And I think it's really difficult to really pinpoint exactly one source for the increase. I think there's a combination of reasons for that. I mean, that could definitely be a contributing factor. Folks coming in and perhaps bringing the virus with them. But I think there's a combination of factors. And for me personally, I believe one of the major contributing factors is gatherings, family gatherings, social gatherings, where intergenerational families in particularly are getting together and for a variety of reasons, which I think are understandable. They're not protecting themselves, and I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the increases coming from.
John, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.